normally I don't wanna show how bad people are, right? But it came to the point where I had several situations and I haven't done any videos, and I think it will be just a awareness for the public, and I will show you on a screen about the car sellers' locations and etc. and the reviews, and all started because the seller accused me I have a dodgy service, right? It's like he finds it funny leaving a bad reviews for incorrect business, and then and he thinks that's okay, right? Where you know you are the fault, right? So let's just have a look how dodgy my service is. What's his name? Amin Seyed Ghasemi, right? So as he left on a Google and on a Trustpilot bad reviews saying avoid, avoid, avoid. They broke my car's front grille, and the person was trying to push the sharp screwdriver into the timing belt to see if it was old or not. Right. So you know we on a car exam regards to when I investigate those reviews, right? It's an independent platform. There's independent inspectors working on it, right? And they're not they're not commercially. First of all, these people, the sellers, not commercially linked to the service. They haven't purchased the service, right? But nevertheless, right, they have got some of them, right? When the car is found faulty, and let's we'll have a look what I found probably in sort of 30 minutes, right? So I arrived at this location in NW7 on Tavistock Avenue, which is just a random residential area, and obviously there was no signs of the seller, no business names, anything. So I Googled this car for less, right? And there's no signs of that business name on Google. So I called the seller. Seller's on the way, stood apparently picking up this car from the storage. So he arrived. We had a few general conversation. So Amin goes, oh, how long is it going to take the car inspection? I already sent him. It will take 240 minutes. So I says, oh, why is it going to take 2 hours? I can do it in 30 minutes. Okay, so our conversation already starts. I already know there's something wrong with the car because no one acts this way. Normally, any trade, when there's inspection, they don't care. If there's something wrong, they don't care. It's just if they might be because they might not even know themselves there is an issue, right? So you just are happy somebody found a problem. So the car is excellent, etc. That's what Amin says. And I'm going around taking my pictures, open the bonnet. I had a look on the paperwork. The guy's all over me, like you have when you're walking your dog and he's always around you, so that Amin just follows me around. I already smell something is not right, right? And as I basically opened this bonnet, and on the top of it there's a plastic tray, which normally you pull it off. You can see the injector seats and everything. So as I'm going to pull this cover off, he starts leaning in and saying, "No, don't take it off. The 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 garage or whoever couldn't fit it back something on properly." That's an easy thing. I do many Rangers, Fords, and the Rangers themselves. Just pull it off and put it back. So that already made my suspicion. So I lift as much as I can, and I'm shining a torchlight in it, and I can see there's at least from 3 injectors a blow by. So if he was that concerned about this thing, the more likely once you will pull it off, there potentially could be a bolt snapped or something like that. Obviously it needs further investigation when somebody acts like that. From that point on, I had a look on the timing belt. So obviously I can sense his attitude start changing because I already found an issue, right? So when I walked around the car initially, I already found a soot on an exhaust on a Euro 6 model, which is not normal, which indicates normally an emission issue, right? And it could be cracked DPF, something reprogrammed, AdBlue delete or DPF delete or etc. It could be anything, right? Obviously, he said there's nothing wrong, nothing is being modified. Apart of you will see in the pictures what kit has been added on. As he as obviously his attitude started changing, he started moaning about what tools I'm using, etc. Are gonna damage sort of the plastics or something like that. I said, look, if you're unhappy, just tell me any time and I'll stop this inspection. Because I know the car is wrong, there will be some more likely something else wrong. In a few of these moments, I will show you the report what I found, right? I can already see the number plate is not road legal. It's fitted in the windscreen. It's not fitted in the front as legally required. So obviously the guy decided he doesn't want to continue with the inspection, right? From this point, dig on deeper. All this. Let's just have a look. I mean, how shady we are. I sent him a few text messages because I was checking the some of these reviews, and I sent the guy the text. You've been emotional leaving the bad reviews. I suggest you remove the reviews. And he replies, right, where instead of accepting the car is not right, and taking it and fix it and sell it, vehicle in a good condition, right? Instead of doing this guy, like I said, leaves bad reviews, right? But which is just not normal. If I would be going and leaving reviews to every seller who sells shit cars, right, or faulty cars, I don't. It's just unethical, It's let it be. You suck it up, That's it. That's life. But the guy goes to me when he had an initial right was saying, "Oh, when somebody does inspection, no one buys the cars from me." Well, clearly, everything what I just said in a few minutes, right? Well, clearly, why would nobody buy a car from you? Because you're more likely selling faulty cars, as in on this situation. So I said to the guy, guy was threatening me. Oh, I can leave any reviews I want. That reflects his honest experience, right? Where he's not commercially related to the inspection, right? If somebody would do a nice inspection, would not check the car, then his experience would be great, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And then he threatens, "Oh, the reviews reflects my honest opinion." That's it. Send him a text message. Do not send me any further threatening messages, which I never did. Any further threats or harassment will be reported to Metropolitan Police. So we have a list. So I explained them about he left the incorrect reviews to the incorrect business, right? And secondly, his car is faulty, and he's breaching the platform terms and conditions of the review platform, where he leaves the reviews which are fake, and he's which are not based on true experience, right? It's just a revenge experience. That's what it is. And then he replies, he having a laugh, haha, you know nothing about the rules, right? Okay. I can leave a review anywhere that I like, specifically about you and your dodgy service that I had, right? All right, Amin. And I texted him, why do you think this is funny? He haven't responded. So what I did afterwards, let's just have a look first on the report, right? So the vehicle has 51,534 miles. The guy is advertising this car on a Car Gurus. It's a used car for less, right? This is, I will show you later the addresses. Yeah, the address HP2, I was an NW7, right? When you Google this address, there's no car for less coming up, but I will show you what I found later, why it's not coming up. Every decent seller, normally they'll put Google business address there because everyone will Google it, will make it easier to find them when they're driving there, right? So the people who don't have any profiles like that, they more likely don't want people to find it in a Google, because on the street view you can pull up, you can have a look whether it's a council estate or what sort of area it is, right? So the car is listed on a Car Gurus, even and it's listed on, so he asks for it, 19,995, fair deal. SOTA, right? I don't particularly concentrate on the price. Mileage is 50,000. It was 51. Advertised mileage 50,000, right? Exactly. But when I done it, inspection on 23rd of July was 51,534. So clearly somebody is using it daily. So as you can see, he's listing it already. The vehicle is not road legal. There's no number plates on it, right? And this is my inspection. I ride on inspection as well. You can see there's a lot of junk in it, and there is where's the front of the car? Mileage here, 51,534. You see, there's no number plate on the front, you know. And he's a trade seller. It's more obviously you can't find him on a company's house. He's a self-employed, trading his cars for less, right? So what I found quickly in that moment when I was there, so I'm not surprised why people find this kind of appealing. Obviously, it looks attractive, you know. But what I personally found, all these sort of kitted out cars, right? They always have problems, right? Always, you know. And people just believe it's a nice car, they never check, and then they buy, you know. So I'm not surprised somebody found this attractive, right? So let's have a look what I quickly found on this inspected car. In this short period of time, what I noticed. So interior, sliding cargo area latch key is missing, right? The tonnet cover, I think it's called. The car is fully full with seller's tools. Injector block in engine drivetrain section. Potential repair costs £1,000 for the injector blow-by wire notice, which the cover he didn't want me to allow to remove it because saying the garage couldn't put it back or something like that. But you can clearly see from few injectors there's a blow-by developing and smells of exhaust fumes. Oil level between minimum and maximum. Timing belt, right? Timing belt visually was in a serviceable condition without small micro cracks when I checked it. There's no evidence of replacement. Oh, so the Ford has a technical bulletin, and the interval has been reduced from 10 years to 6 years. 6 years or 100,000 miles. So what I also found, charging system. Yeah, had the battery terminal loose. Secured it on inspection. Did the battery test. Seller didn't know what the battery test is, but before he was saying, after he was saying he's a mechanic, right? So once he left, and also slow cranking. So the battery is it is weak, more likely would need replacing. There is a battery test. The voltage was low, but because this is reduced, this shareable link reduces all the pictures which I added. So on a silencer, when I said I noticed on arrival, I noticed the black soot on exhaust tip, which is not expected for the Euro 6 vehicle. So there's a possible causes DPF, EGR valve, fuel injection system, turbocharger, basically emission-related issue which needs further investigation. So, and in the bodywork section, I found the bumpers, number plate not attached on the front, which is required legally by law, but he sells car like that. And there's one remote key not operation. That's probably just a battery. And yeah, the part of the service history, recent service has been done, and I found oil residue around intercooler seals on the front near the intercooler radiator. As you can see, front of the car, right? No number plate. You can't see it, but because of this plastic junk which is fitted on the bonnet, covers at the number plate, it's fitted in that windscreen. So this is how Amin sells the car, and then he says, my inspection what I provided is dodgy. Right, let's have a look on a conclusion. So this is my conclusion, right? What's written, I'm not going to go too much into detail. Well, CarForLess is selling, but you can read it, right? So, and the statement of truth for the court if the customer wants to take him for any legal requirements, for any legal issues. So this is how some sellers selling cars, right? So I will put this link in the video. So, but because Amin was acting a bit weird, right? So I had a look on his reviews. Obviously, you can't find any reviews, right? There's a free reviews in Car Gurus. How to get Car Gurus reviews? You have to just put a request, and then you can add a review about it, right? So nothing much here. Then I found reviews on a Auto Trader, which sort of reflects more likely his dealings, you know, in my opinion. Disgusting service, anonymous. On these ones is basically you only can leave on a fee for review if you've been invited and you purchased the vehicle, right? So you can see there's several concerning customers, right? You know, the way I treat normally the seller, because people do repetitive stuff, you know, that's their habit, so they're constantly repeating this habit. I judge them by the first car. So that means if the car is faulty, if the first car they sell, I inspect, is faulty, so the habit will be most of the cars will have the same standard, you know. Because Amin said he can inspect the car in 30 minutes, so that more likely, if he would pay for the professional inspection, he would not buy the faulty cars right at the beginning. Or there's nothing wrong with the faulty car, you know, you just get the right price. So if he would know the cars are faulty, he would offer the correct price, fix the car, and will have enough margin to fix it basically and sell it a non-faulty car. So there is obviously concerning pattern, right, of the reviews, right, and so you can see by the reviews what is the sentiment of the seller, right? I'm not saying all customers are perfect. But then what I found by just searching CarForLess Hemel Hempstead, right? I found this, as you can see, Land of Cupid Lane, right? Which is similar as his, right? As you can see, Lane of Cupid, Land of Cupid Green Lane, Hemel Hempstead, HP26HN, right? But HP26HH, right? So it's the same area. It's some sort of farmland or something like that. I looked into this, and obviously, and the name has been removed, and I'm linking this back to the Amin, right? CarForLess, right? And when you start digging deeper, you can see it clearly. Cars are faulty, right? You know, clearly there is a concern with the seller. I had to look when his domain has been live from 2022, basically April, right? And these reviews are sort of 3 years ago, so you might say it's not him, right? But then I dig a bit deeper for the CarForLess. So he's got on Auto Trader 3-star rating. Well, clearly he's selling problematic cars, you know. And I found this land here, and there is Hertfordshire Online News or something, you know. And here we go, CarForLess HP26HN, and phone number what he's provided here doesn't exist because I called to this number. So that address corresponds to this address here, HP26HN, Land of Cupid Green Lane, as it here, you know. So this is his number, the business number, and he has, or somebody has removed the business name, you know. So I just assume, in my opinion, he's just hiding it, you know. I'm not a policeman, I don't care, you know. So I'm just showing this for people who are looking for used cars. You need to find somebody who has a sensible reviews, but don't get caught. We had several businesses who kind of appears to have a good reviews, right, mixed with bad reviews, and possibly allegedly they add in good reviews on the top. Like we had a Salvatore Performance, MB Brent, what was the other business name? MB Brent Park seller, you know. Some of them has some sort of good reviews, and but you need to these sellers, what I mentioned, they left us they left again, they've been emotional, and left bad reviews to the wrong business again, you know. So I will do some separate videos about them too. That's CarForLess. That's how the car sales is. So for people awareness, check what you're buying, you know. And the more you can't find about a seller, the details, right, online and the information, the more you should have. And I understand how people buy cars emotionally, you know. They just look because it looks nice, and then the person wants it, and they always believe the seller what they say, right? I can show you all the car examiner reviews. All these car examiner reviews are left. Left, and then there is we've been abused by Salvatore Performance. Salvatore Performance left random reviews to the car examiner, you know. So all these ratings are because these car sellers selling poor vehicles, right? And then they think they can do whatever they want and just leave things randomly to harm completely different random business, you know. If you want, leave the review, leave it on my profile, found it online, and leave it, you know. So this is the 10-minute sort of view, 10-minute overview about the seller. How it happens, you know. And it is disappointing. So if you buy cars and something goes wrong with used cars, right, make sure you report it to the trading standards, you know. Trading standards will not act, they will not act straight away on one complaint, right? But if there are a lot of them coming in, they will not do anything straight away as well. They will do investigation. They will sit around and investigate the seller, and then they will do a shutdown of the business one day. That's how it sort of happens, right? So because, like I said before, people repeat same mistakes all over again, and it accumulates. So, and that's the trading standards will investigate all this systematically, and then they will clump one day the business down, you know. That's for the consumers how it sort of happens, you know, because same like police acts on a drug dealers, right? They gather evidence for a few months and they will shut it down. Same way trading standard operates. So I hope it helps somebody who's looking for a car. Do a careful research, because sometimes when you do quick research you can't find it. If you can't find any information about the seller, don't buy the car. Very simple, you know. Sometimes it's safer buy from the private seller, but you always check it, you know. or you rather buy it from the proper trader who is open, sensible reviews. You don't spot anything dodgy, but always double check what you buy. You know, there's every car, they're never ready for sale. They need some repairs. They need something, you know. And if you don't, then obviously you then moan to the seller about silly things, right? And then they will backtrack you. They will stonewall. They will not be interested, right? Once you bought a car, it's your problem, unless there's a serious issue with the car. So just remember, it's a tough game, right? So take care.